Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "We acquire the strength we have overcome." And so today I'm going to talk about groups of people on Tumblr who together have come together to talk about their experiences as marginalized people and together build a collective strength. I've personally been on Tumblr for like over 4.5 years, and for those of you who don't know, it's kind of a micro-blogging site. And I also just recently finished a 14-month internship with the Michigan Roundtable for Diversity and Inclusion, which, among lots of other things, focused around power, privilege, and oppression in the Metro Detroit area. Right, so like I said, we all have unique lived experiences that show, and so like I'm going to show you blogs that, you know, people talk about them or whatever. And so, but firstly, I want to get some definitions out of the way so that we all understand where I'm coming from. And then I'll show you the blogs and what they're about, and then I'll show you some results of what these blogs have created. And so firstly, I'm going to define for you marginalization, power, and solidarity. And these are important because it's important for us to have common understanding so that we're not lost as we move along. So according to Aditya Anukumar, who wrote The Concept of Marginalization, marginalization is defined as the social process of becoming marginal as a group within larger society. So a possible example would be people of color, women, people who are part of the LGBTQ community, or any group whose narrative, their experiences, are how they have lived their life, is often erased or contradicted or invalidated by the dominant narrative, which is white, Christian, heterosexual, male. Right. So power, you know, as defined in our Warren and Facet book, is a productive tension resulting from our different locations in our culture. So we all know that one. And then lastly, solidarity refers to the ties in the society, such as similar lived experiences that bind people to one another, as written by Joan Ferrante in Sociology, A Global Perspective. Okay, so now that we have those definitions out of the way, I'm gonna start getting into the blogs I've been talking about. All right, cool. So,
Things like popped out. I heard the noise pop.
Yeah.
I will stop the time and can you get that?
Thanks. All right, cool. Let's see. All right. Okay. Oh, this is the right blog. All right. So this blog is called All About Male Privilege, and it was started by a few girls. It was started by a few women who felt the need to create a safe space for women where they could come and talk about their lived experiences as women and how male privilege has affected them, but also because of the intersectionality of a lot of these things in the social justice realm, like racism, sexism, xenophobia, and things like that, it often takes on different turns to where it starts talking about different things. So I'm just going to scroll down pretty briefly so that you can see. It has the About section right here that shows what it's about, you know. And here's an interesting post about why you shouldn't dress as a Native American for Halloween as it relates to women, and about how all of these women right here were rape victims, and about how you erase their lived experiences when you dress like this, or like this, or like this. Right. So that's just one example of some of the things that happen on About Male Privilege. This blog right here is called Queer Muslims, and it's a safe space for LGBTQ people who follow the Muslim faith to come and talk about their experiences as being a Muslim and gay. And so, I mean, it's often a safe space where people who don't get to talk about it, usually in their communities at home, can come here and blog about it. And it says, like, all of these blogs tend to have over here exactly what they're for, and they say this is not a space for debate or anything like that. It's a space only for people who want to come and feel safe and talk about their experiences. So first and foremost, these blogs serve as safe spaces for other people. And one of the last blogs I'm going to show you is this blog here called U.S. History minus the white guys. And so this blog is a little bit different from the other blogs because it's not someone or some people coming to talk about their experiences, but it's actually blogs that post about tons of really cool history that we often don't get to hear about, as like our textbooks kind of follow that dominant white Christian male narrative. And so it talks about the history of people of color, women, Native indigenous people and things like that. So because it's important for everyone to feel valued and to have their own history and to know their history, and that's empowering. So that's why this blog was created. And so when you see these blogs, they spark, lots of conversation. I've only showed you 3 out of tons and tons that I know of. It sparks really good conversation, and sometimes this conversation turns into really productive things, and I'm going to show you that next. And so this blog is called The Black Kids Table, and it's a place that was created after some intense discussion that happened on Tumblr, where Black youth on Tumblr felt the need for more space for Black youth to share experiences and offer different commentary and criticism on popular media. So as you can see here, it's tons of things that people can voluntarily just write for, so long as they are a Black kid, I guess. So you have the First Amendment doesn't oblige. You used to have racists over for dinner. The struggle is real. Recognizing authors of color in academia. So it goes from a lot of things, from popular media to academia to politics and all these kinds of things. And this was all created after discussion on Tumblr. Here's another one called Race in My Fandom, and this blog talks about. So there's a lot of really enthusiastic people on Tumblr about different things like, I don't know, you could say Harry Potter, various animes, movies, TV shows, or whatever. And so when you get into these things, these are called fandoms, and a lot of times there are a lot of things that go on in fandoms, and movies are things that are really ignorant of the lived experiences of people of color. And so this blog was created after some really intense discussion took place over several days actually on Tumblr, where they were saying, there needs to be a space for people of color to talk about how race affects them in their fandoms that they're trying to enjoy. And so this has sparked lots of cool discussion where people can come and discuss that. And so right here we see Cloud Atlas, which is a movie coming, is under fire for casting white actors in yellow face makeup. And so, people on Tumblr are discussing that now as a result of these blogs. Okay, so yeah, I've given you a really brief overview of, the blogs, and I've given you definitions of marginalization, solidarity, and power, so that you understand a little bit what these blogs are talking about. And I showed you some of the things that they can create. And so I know that some of this might seem a little fluffy or unnecessary at first, but once you really get into it, and once you really get into your experiences, and you realize how important it is for you to feel valued and share your stories with people who have similar stories or different stories from your own, it's a really amazing, empowering feeling. And so that concludes my presentation. Thanks.